Gentlemen, and everybody who identifies in between. We're back playing more Runescape. I'm not doing very well today, okay? Like full disclosure, complete honesty. Today is a bit of a shit day for me. Launching the bot. Benji, welcome, welcome. How you doing? How's things? How's life? Tell me all about it. Right, we gotta go and do some more mining on this account. Benji, what have you been up to today? Nice. I wish I could still take long walks. That's about as bad a roll as you can do. Really? I'm live? Who would have thought? I don't know, guys. Bear with me a minute. Bear with me a minute. We'll see who pops her along. But yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I don't know, the last few days I've been feeling pretty low. Like I'm pretty sure. I am pretty sure I am I'm pretty sure that I'm just burnt out with life. You know, I've had a lot happen in a short period of time, and I think hello there, Daniel. How you doing? How's things? How's life? Tell me all about it. Right, so dungeoneering hole, mining, you know the drill. I'm not. Listen, guys, if it wasn't for the fact that I'm just trying to keep the streaming streak going, I probably wouldn't be live right now. Nice, Daniel, nice. I literally walked in and dicked about. I want to put some music on, see if I can cheer myself up. Bluetooth. Really? My Bluetooth doesn't want to connect. Smoked, welcome, welcome. How you doing? How's things? How's life? Tell me all about it. See if either one of these will connect. Let's turn Bluetooth off. Turn Bluetooth back on. Alright, so one of them will connect. There we go. That was a whole thing. So I can't hear any of the game audio whatsoever. But I need some music because I'm not doing great today. You've actually started a couple months ago then again. Right, what have I missed out in chat? Okay, okay. How are you doing, Smoked? How's things? How's life? Tell me all about it. And Elios, welcome, welcome. How you doing? How's things? How's life? Tell me all about it. So we're gonna try and get a decent length streaming today. I need at some point to play Genshin. Can we do 4 hours today? That would take us to midnight. Near enough. Yeah, I know. If you want me to call you Princess, you need to actually make this account say Princess. Also, the PS2 did have native internet support. I just had an Ethernet jack straight in the thing. The original model needed the module, but they actually released a second version of the fat console that had a Ethernet built in. By the way. It did take me a quick second. Not gonna lie. So what has everybody been up to today? Anything interesting, noteworthy, anything you'd like to share? It is, of course, Monday, so the start of yet a new week. Yeah, there wasn't very much online. Busy and Alive, which I die of a horrible book. What? I'm not sure what you mean though, Princess. Yeah, when you like get a new game and you have to download a 100 gigabyte patch just to play it. Wow. Oh, I see. Well, I'm sorry to hear that. I need a holiday, guys. Yeah, those were the days. Those were the days. I mean, it depends how you define how much graphical performance it has. Because the Series S is still impressive for its wattage. You know, its performance per watt is incredible. I'm just saying. It depends how you exactly define. It does depend how you define, you know, doesn't have that much graphical performance. Dungeoneering, thank you for the follow. How you doing? How's things? How's life? Tell me all about it. I see you're in your hole. I love your dung hole. Okay, I love your dung hole. I've gotta be honest. Gotta put my hands up. Nope. Well, it's up to you what you want to do. I appreciate you stopping by. How you doing? How's things? How's life? Tell me all about it. I play like an iron half the time, to be fair. So I'll be honest, I'm having a bit of a shitty day today. Nice. I like it. But yeah, I'll be honest, I'm having a shit day today, so we're just vibing, we're just relaxing. We're not doing anything too bothersome. Let me just pause my music for a second. It's hard to explain, but I've been doing too much recently, basically. Like, I'm physically disabled, I've got autism, and I have a lot of mental health issues. But I actually run a mental health charity. And my clients has been very needy lately. Like, it's fine, it's what I'm here for at the end of the day. But then my mum's been in hospital at the same time. I've given up alcohol and given up cigarettes. I'm just vaping now, and vaping isn't enough nicotine for me quite yet. I need to get used to it. So I've done a lot of change in a short time, and then my meds are fucked up as well. So it's just like everything. Yeah, well, I had actually I've actually been using that for a while, but I've quit them as of Friday because I can't afford them. That's the truth. Too expensive. Neon, welcome, welcome. How you doing? How's things? How's life? Tell me all about it. The tobacco one's better. Yeah, but I'm trying to not have tobacco. I mean, realistically, I'd love just to get off nicotine completely. But how you doing, Neon? How's your day been today? So at the moment, I'm just vaping. Um, and yeah, it's gonna take some getting used to. Just being a race car, exactly, exactly. Ugh. But yeah, so we'll see how I get on with that. I've been sober for what, 12 days now. So nothing really to write home about just yet. Well, I don't know if I'll ever truly get off nicotine. Well, I'm definitely going to be consuming a lot less nicotine because I only have a 8 milligram liquid, so. You have seen a player on the new servers which just named after the region. They're from over a decade ago, and obviously they are high level already. That's what you like to see, returning players. Oh. Yeah, honestly, I feel like crap. And I know half of it is nicotine, and half of it is just being burnt out. I've done 71 days in a row streaming. 71 days without a day off. Like, I do understand that it takes a toll on you, mentally and physically. But hey, this is what we're doing. I've not set a challenge. I can stop streaming whenever I want. And eat an ice cream. Yeah, dungeoneering. We have done 81 to 110 dungeoneering in the whole this event. I know, right? We might get another maybe level or two out of it before the end of the event. Maybe another 2 levels. But 112 is nothing to turn your nose up at, you know? What are you like in RuneScape? Are you maxed? Are you relatively new? What's your favorite skill? Tell me. Thank you. It's taken it's taken way more clicks than I'd like to admit to in this hole. Well, you recently got real world trade banned on your main. But was your real world trading? Oh, well, that's fair enough then. I do know some people get WT banned without. No worries, Daniel. Have a good day, my friend. If you can leave a lurk, I'd appreciate it. But if not, you do what you gotta do. Thank you for the lurk, Daniel. I do very much appreciate it. Yeah. What you should have done is trade it to a new account, let it sit for a few months, and then real world trade, and the likelihood of linking it to your original account is much lower. Not that I'm saying you should real world trade, but if you were going to real world trade, don't do it on your main account. If you want to know what we're doing in game, by the way, you can do !target in chat, and that will explain to you what our current challenging game is, what we're currently working on. By the way. Thank you, Benji. Basically, Benji did the target command so you can see what I'm working on in game. Let's pour myself some iron brew. Back in the hole. Yeah. We're at about 4.3 million arrows. We've been working on materials for a long time. So we need another, what, 700,000? 600,000? After considering all the materials I've got. So we still got a fair way to go. You're making rune arrowheads on one of your to-be Elder Rune Belts. Nice. Well, I'm currently saving up to, I'm in the process of building a streaming studio, because this is my bedroom. And I have to have a really small desk, because I just don't have this first space in here. So the room recently got plastered, and I threw some wallpaper on there just for noise absorption. It needs electric put in there. It's got no electric. It's got no internet connection. No Wi-Fi doesn't get there, so I'm gonna have to run Ethernet. But I can do all of that myself. And then, you know, make some audio panels. Yeah. So it's gonna be a full studio setup. Good to be handy. Yeah, like, the amount that I would pay an electrician to do it compared to... GG, Benji. The amount I'd pay an electrician to do it compared to, like, the value of my time, you know? I did originally do my degree in large-scale networking, and we did cover, like, installing electrical outlets and Ethernet and all of that stuff on that. So I have done it before, and I'm technically qualified to do it. But it's been a while, so I'm going to watch some videos to make sure I do it right. But it is important to be able to do things yourself, I think. I think too many people just rely on paying somebody to do something. You know? Like, you need... I put a tap on the outside of our house, you know, an outdoor garden tap. And I did that. I just watched some videos on how to do it, bought the tools and did it because why not? You know, like so many people are just like, yeah, I'll just pay somebody to do this. I'll just pay somebody to do that. And I'm like, the generation before us, they had pride on being able to do things around the house, you know, and being able to like work on the cars and all that. And it's like, I'm buying a motorbike soon, and I'm purposely getting an old motorbike so I can do my own, so I can do the work on it myself before, you know, a pre-computer motorbike. So like, it's got issues. Carburetor, it's gonna be carbureted. Carburetor needs cleaning or adjusting. I can do that myself. Yeah, I hate questing. Like, especially with YouTube and whatnot these days, you can learn how to do practically anything. There's a guy on YouTube who teaches you how to genetically modify things at home. Yep. I know that's why I'm buying an old motorbike. Motorbikes are the same. Working on modern motorbikes is just so difficult. Unless they're like very cheap motorbikes and then they're just built like old motorbikes. Just wait till everybody's got electric cars and you can't do fuck all for yourself. There will be one guy who does something without knowing what he's doing, kills himself, and they're gonna like make it illegal to work on your own car. At least in Britain. You'll have to have a license to even like take the cover off anything. Bet ya. Because you know, like, 800 volt, 1200 volt battery packs can kill you very easily. The amount of amperage that they can dump into your body, like, you don't know what you're doing. You will die with an electric car. And that's not me exaggerating. You know, like, it's pretty hard to kill yourself with a petrol car. You can seriously hurt yourself, but it's pretty hard to kill yourself with, like, a petrol or diesel car. Because, like, in a lot of situations, the engine just wouldn't run. Yep. You just gotta let him burn. Lithium fire. Although the rates of like fires in EVs is significantly lower than fires in petrol or diesel cars. Just saying. Like, right, so here's right, I don't mind them wanting to mandate petrol and diesel cars, but yet they're not mandating electric trains. Like in Britain, so I think it's like 70% of our trains still run on diesel. You know? So like trains, which in my opinion are the easiest form of transportation to make electric. You know, we've been doing electric trains for what, 70 years or something at this point? And yet, most of the trains in Britain aren't electric yet. And yet, they're mandating electric cars and electric motorbikes. I don't know if you know anything about electric motorbikes, but unless you're going to spend like 15, 20 grand on a basic motorbike, it's shit. They'll just make a law that makes it so you can't say that. Because at some point, you know, I don't know what the in Germany is, but after, you know, in 8 years' time, like, you're not going to be able to buy new ICE cars in Britain. You know, in 2030, you're not going to be able to buy a brand new petrol or diesel car or motorbike. That's only 8 years away. That's not that long of a time, realistically. I do imagine a lot of ICE cars are going to be sold in that last year. Which is, I mean, in a way, it's good. The public has proven they can't be trusted to make the decision on their own. Because most people, it doesn't, for 95% of people in Europe, America's different, I will admit, America is different, but like, 95% of people in Europe don't need an ICE car. An electric car, you know, electric car ranges are now like 200-300 miles, you know? I'm just saying, you get 300 miles in the charge. You can go almost anywhere in Britain on 300 miles in the charge. And like, would you really want to drive longer than 300 miles without a rest? But see, I don't know how I feel about that, because I don't know how the power grid works. I don't know how the power grid works in your country, so I'm going to talk about my country. But basically, the national grid has known about EVs becoming prominent for 30 years. The national grid is who runs the power grid in Britain, right? The national grid then learned that EVs were going to become legally mandated. We knew that, like, what, 7 years ago? So it's up to them to project how much power is going to be needed to transfer it. You know, the grid isn't just this magical thing that just happens to be there. It's constructed to meet demand. You know, so what do? You upgrade it. Same as a computer, you know? You build a computer, and you might buy a new game 3 years down the line, and your computer can't run it anymore, so what do? You upgrade your computer. It's the same. The national grid is a machine. I would say that, like, the grid and, like, the American power grid, for instance, is the single largest machine ever constructed, in my opinion. Because power grids are machines. They are. And what do you do when the machine isn't fit for purpose anymore? You upgrade it. And that is what the national grid are currently doing. Now, if they can do it fast enough, who knows? It's if they have enough money to do it. I'm sorry, but the German government are fucking idiots. You guys had some very good nuclear power plants that you decided to shut down. Just saying. You was energy self-sufficient a decade ago. Realistically, the only way a low-carbon future is going to work is if we all build a shit ton of nuclear power plants. What's more ecologically friendly than nuclear power at this point? Unless we crack fusion. I'm sorry, but there's not really another form of power on the planet that can meet baseload that is low carbon. Unless you build batteries, you know, the size of towns, you're not going to be able to balance a grid without nuclear power or gas. But nuclear power isn't bad for the environment. Well, okay. So it depends how you define bad for the environment. Right? Can it be bad for the environment when done wrong? Yes. Does that mean... But at the same thought process, you know, we build... I think it... Oh yeah, no, I agree, Red, I agree. But we build solar power towers that literally fry birds as they fly through it, and people herald it as a ecological miracle. You know, wind turbines kill God knows how many birds, but we keep building them. Just saying. Dams, you know, hydroelectric block natural flow of water, which completely change ecologies all around the world wherever they're built. I could go on. The only way how we're gonna have we have a crack fusion or build fission. That's the truth. Alright? That's the truth of the matter. Now, am I thrilled to say that we need to build a bunch of nuclear power plants? I'm not. I'm not thrilled to say that we need nuclear power because nuclear power has its dangers. And anybody who wouldn't, you know, admit that it has its dangers isn't being honest. Right? Like, I'm not saying nuclear power is without risk, but continuing to use gas for baseload is definitely more risky for the environment as a whole. And realistically, you're either going to be using gas or coal as baseload, unless you build nuclear. That's the truth of the matter. Notebooks, welcome. How you doing? How's things? How's life? Tell me all about it. We are having an actually serious conversation for once about nuclear power. Oh, yeah, that's... yeah. The fact that most of Europe's gas comes from Russia is a geopolitical issue as well as an ecological issue. Now, you see, if you would have built yourself a bunch of new shiny nuclear power plants, you would have much less of an issue. Like, I know nobody would do this, but what they should do is build... If we ever get SMRs working, which we will do in probably the next decade, have an SMR in the centre of every city and, you know, do district heating from it. That's what I would do, personally. And then you can make carbon neutral heating as well, without having to use a bunch of CFCs for what are essentially air conditioning units. You got 120 smithing yesterday. Awesome. Life is pretty good. I'm glad to hear. Subaru got a new watch. Please do post a picture in Discord, Subaru. Yep, Benji. Sorry, you heard. I know nothing about Austria, so I'm not going to comment. He DM'd me one on Discord. I'll go and look in a moment. The thing about nuclear waste is, what a lot of people don't understand is, when people say nuclear waste, what most people think about is spent fuel rods, right? So, most nuclear waste, as in 99% of it, is things like gloves and overalls. You know, clothing that has been used around a nuclear reactor is legally defined as nuclear waste. I'm just saying, 99% of nuclear waste is like gloves and overalls and that kind of stuff. Now, there is spent fuel, but the truth is, most spent fuel gets recycled into new fuel. Right? Like, these days, most spent fuel gets turned into new fuel. And there's a very small amount of leftover, which then should just be buried in a super deep borehole, in my opinion, and forgot about. Yeah, people see metal canisters. What they don't understand is, usually it's either things like gloves, clothing, and that is all nuclear waste legally. But like, the actual high level nuclear waste is a metal. And if it's not a metal, usually it can be like turned into a glass. You know? You superheat it under plasma and it essentially turns into a glass, which is chemically inert. You can encase it in concrete, put it deep underground, and there you go, problem solved. And realistically, we should find a way to use the residual energy in nuclear waste, because nuclear waste is kept in pools to keep it cool. So it heats that water up. So it's still releasing energy. So why don't we find a way to use that energy? You know? If you use something like Novec, what, you know, boils at a low temperature, and use Novec to run a turbine, suddenly you've got extra electric. Just saying, there are options out there. Spent nuclear fuel can get to like 50-60 degrees, which is more than enough to high pressure boil like Novec solution. There's actually an interesting research thing being done at the moment about using low boiling point liquids to make geothermal more productive in places where it generally wouldn't be when using water. Which I think is really clever. Right, what was I gonna do? Oh, Discord. I like it. Simple but effective. The watch, I mean. Well, that's the thing, like, some people are like, oh, watches should be pretty and this and that, but it's a tool at the end of the day. You know, I always say this about my phone. I don't give a shit what my phone looks like, because one, I throw a case on it anyway. Right? I throw a big case on my phone. And two, it's a tool. I have a phone as a tool for communication. Why does it need to look pretty? That's one thing that I like about Sony phones. They don't do anything like, they don't do curved glass screens. You know, like Samsung do. I hate that on Samsung phones. You know, I've got a Samsung S9 here that I use for my work phone, and the curved glass edges to the screen just piss me off. I'm not gonna lie. Also, you can't get a glass screen protector on that thing easily. This phone with a practically... Like, even this phone, the very edge of the glass is slightly curved, and that pisses me off. It could have just been a flat piece of glass, it would have been cheaper, and much more easy to protect, but... You know, it looks prettier with that bit of tiny, like, 1/4 curve on the end of it. It makes it smoother into the frame, you know, which, depending on if you use it with a case or not, might be an important thing. The phone that I used before these was an Google Nexus 5, you know, which had a flat piece of glass for the front screen, and that was one of my favorite phones. It was just, to me, it was the perfect phone. It didn't... Was it waterproof? It might not have even been waterproof. It had wireless charging, which I never used because I hate wireless charging. But it had it. Had NFC. Had a flat piece of glass, so you could easily put a screen protector on there that went all the way to the edges. You know, I dropped that thing a million times. It didn't give a shit. And I think it looked fine. It didn't look fancy, but when I bought it, it was like 279 quid or something. It played games, it took decent pictures for a phone of its time. Like, I don't like new Pixels because they're gimmicky. Like, I've said this before, I want Google to bring back the Nexus line. I want them to bring back low mid-range phones. The Galaxy Nexus. I've never even heard of the Galaxy Nexus. Now I'm going to Google it. One moment, please. Galaxy Nexus. Ah. But the issue, like you're saying, is the Galaxy Nexus doesn't have any curved glass. I'm literally looking at it now. So I don't know if you're thinking about the wrong phone, but there's no curved glass in this phone. Like, I mean, OLEDs at the time were very expensive, I'll give you that. But there's no curved glass in it. As in, the panel itself is not curved. The glass is slightly curved at the edges, but the panel is not. It is the phone that I was thinking of, and I know it doesn't have a curved panel. I'm gonna go, like, read. Give me a moment. I could be wrong. I could be wrong. Alright, so the panel is not curved. The glass on top of the panel has a slight curve to it, but the panel itself is not curved. So I guess technically we're both right. Adventure rank 4 now, notebooks, thank you. And I guess it depends how you... Who knows what they were pulling off. It depends how you define the panel. Because, like, the panel is, on an OLED screen, is, like, the thickness of a human hair. You know? At least on modern OLED things. Do you consider the glass part of the panel? Because if you do, then I guess it's curved. See, I don't. I consider it part of the screen. The screen assembly, but it's not the panel. But, yeah. Fair enough, Subaru. So you don't buy new phones then, Subaru, I'm guessing? I would, I'm just saying, in the industry, that would be a screen assembly, not a panel. Just so you're aware, Benji. Which might be a language barrier thing. I don't know. Or it might just be a personal thing. Subaru, I would strongly recommend the Sony 5 series, the Sony Xperia 5 series, which is, I've got a first gen Xperia 5, and when this finally breaks, I'll be buying a new gen Xperia 5. Maybe not the newest gen, maybe a year old refurb like I did this one. But I very much enjoy this phone. The only thing wrong with this phone, in my opinion, is the front-facing camera is not very good. The rear camera is really good. It's a... You know? But the front-facing camera is pretty meh. That's the only thing wrong with this phone. Now, if you got, like, the Xperia 5, 2, or 3, like the second or third gen, I don't know if they've fixed that issue. It seems like something they've fixed. But I'm very happy with this phone. Well, mine's a refurb, and I've had it for like, I don't know, 3 years at this point. Probably 2.5, 3 years. No issues whatsoever. Welcome back, Red. Xperias are expensive compared to like Samsung phones where you're at. Like, I do understand that Xperia's highest end phones are very expensive. Have you seen Xperia's highest end phone where it's like a professional camera strapped to a phone? That's quite interesting. If I had the money, I'd probably buy that. Um, I've never said they were cheap. I got mine as a refurb, and that was cheap. I'm just saying. The current gen Xperia 5 isn't cheap. The last gen Xperia 5. The S10 is still a decent phone. I've got an S9, which, you know, is here. And I don't like this curved screen. I've already said that. But there's nothing wrong with the phone. You know? That is a personal preference thing. I will admit that there is nothing inherently bad about the curve on the screen. You know, there is no technological reason why I don't like it. I just don't like it. Screen should be flat in my opinion. I don't like curved monitors either. And I've used a curved monitor. You know, I had to use my friend's curved monitor when my main monitor broke. You know, like, but there's nothing wrong with it. It's a personal preference thing. What I dislike is that they round off the edges of the phone screens today. I like that. I like that little, you know. I like that. I'm not gonna lie. I think when the UI is designed around that, like, what does having corners add? You know? Now, the amount that it's rounded off is... It depends, because, like, the S9, and I'm guessing the S10, because it's the same chassis, right? Is very rounded. Is very rounded. Whereas on the Xperia 5, you know, it's the ever so slightest. Do I have anything that's white? Do I have anything what's got a white background these days? So I can look at it. It's like the ever so slightestness of a rounding, and I don't mind that. You know, that really slight. Well, that's why I'm saying the amount of curvature to the corners is relevant. Like, if you look at the Xperia 5 online and look at the roundiness of the corners, it's barely there. I like that. I think that looks stylish. When you start cutting off, like, you know, a whole centimeter arc from the edge of the screen, and then it's like, do you need to do that? And then you start having, you know, notches and hole punches and things, and that just irritates me. That's one thing that I like about my Xperia 5. There's no notch. I don't know why notches bother me as much as they do. Like, my mum has a phone with a notch, and it's not intrusive when you're using the phone, in my opinion. But it just doesn't look nice to me. I think the closest thing to a notch that I don't mind as much is like the teardrop. Or whatever they call it, where it's just like a little bump into the screen. That's not as bad. I think that looks kind of okay. No, but they're called hole punch displays. I know there's glass over it, but it's where the camera is, right? And whatnot. And I don't like that, personally. Like, I... Actual hole punch actually don't have glass. Yeah, they do. The very first hole punch displays, which were made by Samsung, were for cameras, not for earphones. And I'm pretty sure they had glass over the top. I Yeah, that's the one that I think that's what I'm talking about it. Yeah, the one where it's basically a pro camera. That's the phone that I want. Haven't they just released a new version of the Xperia Pro? Well, not just, but yeah. The Xperia Pro 1, right? Or Pro I, or whatever. I'm just looking at it now. Is a smartphone Xperia 1 free? That is more or less an extension. Are you talking about the Pro versus the Xperia 1 3, the Benji? .4K at up to 120 frames per second HDR. Okay. I do not want to know how much 4K 120 frames per second HDR, how much storage space that takes up. Guys, I need to go and take my painkillers because I've got none up here. So I'm going to throw up the BRB screen a second, run, take my painkillers, then I'll be back. So please don't go anywhere and please stay tuned. Sorry, guys. Ugh. My mum needed some help, and I needed the back room, and I was like, great, I'm gonna be gone forever. Yeah. If I had the money, I'd buy an Xperia Pro. I would. Not gonna lie. So who've we still got? I did remember to unmute. Yes, I did. Thank fuck for that. Let's see, we still got Red. I imagine we still got Subaru and Benji as well. Guys, should I start listening to K-pop? Spotify really wants me to listen to K-pop, though it keeps advertising it to me. No worries, no bugs, no worries at all. Do you not even think about doing it? Why is it that bad? Or is it secretly that good and you, like, you know? Spotify keeps advertising it to me. What are you talking about, Benji? Are you talking about Red? Can we eat any more ice cream? No. Right. Right, so... Honestly, Spotify keeps advertising it to me all the time. It gives me notifications on my phone and everything. Ever since I downloaded Genshin Impact on my phone. Right, I'm trying to look at what the fuck I want. Let's chew through our... Yeah, actually. Let's chew through the pinatas that we've got. I'm guessing he was replying to Benji, though, Super. Let's try and chew through quite a few number of these pinatas. We'll see how long I stream for today. Like I said, I'm not feeling great. Yeah, I know. That's why I said I presume. So, what does everybody have planned for the upcoming week? It is Monday, the first day of the week. Does anybody have anything planned? As you know, Thursday I have plans. I'm going to call and try and organise getting my blood test done on Thursday. Thinking, other thing about dying, I mean, your mood has been shit and it's not improving. Fair enough, Subaru, thank you for the lurk. Sorry guys, I am in pain. Yeah, because I'm doing a different thing. I'm not in the hole at the moment. You're going to be listening to the tropical music probably for the rest of the stream. Why is Reddit telling me about teenagers? I'm not a teenager. I've not been a teenager for a long time. I have no interest in teenagers. Honestly, this week of me quitting nicotine pouches is gonna be shit. GG notebooks. Nice, thank you for spending 69 rainbow coins to make me say nice. Ugh. Right. Is it possible to defeat? No, because you've run out of time, I think. Plus, there's no advantage. It's not like you get more prizes. So we got 6,000 hour ahead so far. We got a long way to go, guys. So I'm gonna end up being quiet for a lot more of this stream, guys. I'm listening to the debate between the two people who may become our next prime minister. So I am going to be quiet. So who in chat has done or is planning to do the Genshin thing? I know Benji's done it. Notebooks is currently doing it. Is anybody else? I know Neon's already done it, but I don't know if Neon is still around in chat. Oh. Come on, guys. Sorry, I'm... Hopefully my painkillers kick in soon, because if not, I might have to end stream. I was hoping to do some Genshin today, but I have to do 2 hours of my own content first. Basically, that's how abysmally feeling. I mean, the bot's just savage. That's just the bot, you know? Hmm. I am annoyed about it being mobile only because I've got a bunch of people who are interested in playing it, but they can't play it on the mobile phone. Well, at least you're here every day, Benji. You know? I appreciate you being here. I'm glad that you're here. Oh. Should I get something to eat and see if that perks me up and gets my painkillers working? Because I've only eaten, like, my currywurst today. Yeah, it was good. I'll, give me 1 second. We actually made the sauce ourselves. Kind of. I'm just grabbing the... I can't find the link. I'll put it... where do I want to put it? I'll dump it in off topic. Oh, really? You do that, Facebook? I hate how Facebook mess with links. Obviously, I had a vegetarian sausage. I've had it before. I really like it. That's the recipe that we followed. But I really enjoyed it. I obviously use vegetarian sausages because I'm a vegetarian. But I did quite enjoy it. As I did last time and as I will next time. The recipe sounds interesting. Your knowledge sauce series just usually modify ketchup. Fair enough. I mean, that is based on ketchup. Guys, I've just found my last nicotine pouch that I didn't know I had. So I'm going to use that and hopefully I'll chill out. The bot, it's just been nice to you for too long. Oh. So we're doing pretty well. Like I said, if I do 2 hours, I'll be happy, but realistically, I'd like to do more. Sorry guys, I am watching the debate and yeah. It's certainly interesting. Presidential debate that featured the entertaining TV host. Cancelled to go around. Now that's a spicier. Guys, I might have to go. Neon streaming, so I'm gonna raid Neon. There's no point pushing it. Tomorrow I will be live between 1 and 2 p.m. and hopefully we'll get a decent length streaming tomorrow. But until then, have a good day, night, morning, afternoon, or evening, whether you're watching this live as a VOD on YouTube. Guys, look after yourselves, stay safe, and last but not least, as always, is cheerio.